Hey, butters.
I like the way you make chaos.
It's time to talk about one of my favorite cartoons, South Park, specifically the Fractured Butthole game. Let's count down the moments in Fractured Butthole that were controversial, bizarre, psychotic, and just plain shocking.
I'm big.
I mean, New Kid experiences fartcore, strippers, giant unspeakable gargantuan monstrosities of nature, and Morgan Freeman.
You be careful out there.
But believe it or not, some of the moments get even more shocking. So today, let's count down the top 6 surprisingly shocking moments of Fractured Butthole. Just a heads up that there will be some spoilers and obviously a bit of graphic imagery and toilet humor. But if you don't mind that, watch on and enjoy. Number 6. Jared the... well...
Hey kids, you want some candy?
yeah, that. When his criminal actions were made public, Subway justifiably destroyed their links with Jared immediately, severing him like a gangrenous hand. In fact, New Kid finds him in a maximum security prison. In perhaps the most uncomfortable fight in the entire game, Jared expresses his need to, touch inappropriately New Kid and all of his team. From his grotesque kissy moves to his, beckoning the children with candy. The whole thing is just revolting to watch. But I have to admit, 9-year-olds fighting a dangerous, legitimately threatening criminal does make for a suspenseful rumble. It certainly creates an element of real discomfort and fear during the fight.
Operation Make Jared Seem Like a 70% Normal Human is a total failure!
Oh, jeebus butters, I'm sorry, man. Another interesting part is how they follow up this scene with this dark moment where we have to, fart information out of Jared, played as though we're threatening to kill him, and then decide whether to fart in his face or spare him. And what's interesting is that since Jared is in one of the most repugnant categories of criminal, I could see a lot of people deciding against sparing him.
Oh, thank you! Thank you!
This scene made for a funny and interesting dilemma, and a good game experience. Jared came out of nowhere and was a shocking villain to fight. And the 5th most shocking moment in Fractured Butthole is... spontaneous bootay.
Hey honey, you ain't ready for this bootay.
As we try to chase down the stripper Classy, we are suddenly mobbed by an army of strippers. As these deadly strippers chase us down, they finally unleash their secret weapon. Oh, this lady, she is, well, rather large.
I'm gonna crush you in my booty cheeks.
Large enough, in fact, to wipe out with deadly fleshy force every single hero in my team. I mean, a not so pretty large stripper is nothing unusual in popular media, but jeebus, spontaneous bootay is on an entirely different level of, large. But hey, maybe she has a lovely personality and is really fun to talk to. If I did take her out to the movies though, I might reserve her, 2 seats, maybe 5. And if she invited me home, I'd probably wear surround steel tank armor for safety. And for number 4, the many rear-ended homunculus children. So late in the game, we're caught in a dark fortress, deep in the unknown on a stormy night.
Holy shit, dude! What the hell just happened?
Where scientists experiment upon cats. Cats and children are captured and incarcerated in these labs. What horrible experiments do they run on these children? They add, rear ends to them. Many rear ends. In fact, in what feels like a science horror mixed with a Three Stooges episode, there's even a part where we inadvertently add more butts to a child. In fact, we accidentally pay money to do it. Well, I just feel like a jerk now, don't I? It wouldn't be so shocking if they were just experimenting on animals, but actually experimenting on minors, mutating their bodies and minds to turn them into psychotic killing machines. It's played for laughs well, but geez, this was still a weird and shocking moment. And the 3rd most shocking moment in Fractured Butthole is doing a fart lap dance at a strip club for grown men. So our good old buddy Captain Diabetes tracks down 2 drunken men whom 2 9-year-olds can lap dance for information.
No talking until you finish grinding on our chugs.
Oh, alright. Okay, sidekick. You know what this means.
Ugh. New Kid attempts to gain information from these men by continually sticking his, derriere in their face and, breaking wind continually.
Oh, no, stop. Let's just talk. Let's just talk.
It's funny, but at the same time, pretty gross, weird, and bizarre. I mean, if you just take a moment to look back at this scene and say, I just watched two 9-year-olds lap dance their rear ends for two drunken grown men at a strip club, you can't help but stop and say, Jeebus! Come to think of it, how could two grown adults, drunken or not, mistake two 9-year-olds, one calling himself Captain Diabetes with a speech impediment, for grown female lap dancers? I mean, clearly this isn't their first rodeo. It stretches it a little bit, but it's still a funny, shocking scene. And the second most shocking moment in Fractured Butthole is sacrificing African Americans to Shub Nagara.
Okay, chuck another one in.
Oh, fucking hell no.
So in the lovely town of South Park, it's a police force's job to arrest every criminal in town. Who do the police consider criminals? Not the drug lords, not the mass murderers. No, every single African American they can find. It's a strong anti-racist message that isn't just subtly mentioned to us. It is slammed over our heads repeatedly, then stomped into our faces. In fact, being the right-hand man of this corrupt police force wasn't enough. If capturing the African-American citizens and leaving their children behind wasn't enough,
Have you seen my dad? I'm not sure where he went. It's not like him to just disappear.
Trey and Matt take it a step up from even that, and we eventually find deep in the pits of the police basement, a cave, where we watch the police sacrificing the African Americans in a dark pit to Shub Nagarath. Because apparently Shub Nagarath doesn't like white meat. I feel dirty just saying that sentence. I mean, we do end up throwing the corrupt cops in, but it's still a powerful, shocking, creepy scene to watch unfold. And before we get to number one, I wanted to give my personal favorite moments. Fighting Kyle's mum.
I'm gonna kick your fucking asses all the way to Canada.
There was just something so unexpected and funny about this. This is definitely among my favorite fights in the game. Wine Drunk Randy. My only complaint was there wasn't enough Randy in this game. He's become such a bumbling, enjoyable character in the main series that it's always good laughs whenever he pops up in the games.
Hang on, Sharon's texting me. I can't type. Why the f can't I type? Why are my thumbs so big?
I hope if they do another game, Randy's in it a bit more. Stopping Butters getting grounded by fighting his dad. The new kid is ungroundable, and you can use this power to win the fight. Time-traveling flatulence. I think this title speaks for itself. Anyway, on to number one. And without a doubt, the number one most shocking moment in Fractured Butthole is killing either New Kid's dad or his mum. Okay, I take it back, I'm sorry. Watching your parents do the dirty was not that bad in Stick of Truth.
Your dad will always have fucked you up.
Because it gets so much worse. So we're stuck in a lab, and the only way that we can progress is to get the DNA of one of our parents. But no, not just a hair, not just a skin flake. We have no way to finish the game unless we either kill New Kid's dad by cutting his head off.
No, kiddo! Dad operates the laser! Stop! You're gonna kill Daddy!
Or kill his mother by ripping her arm off.
Please, don't kill Mommy, sweetheart. Mommy loves you.
What the Ferguson am I meant to do? I stopped. I had no freaking idea what to do. I didn't want to do either. I sat on this moment, doing nothing for a good 15 minutes. I desperately looked for any other option other than killing one of the parents. But there was no other option. There was nothing I could do other than brutally murder one of the parents. I felt like vomiting after doing this scene. There is no right person to hurt. Either way, New Kid is taking the life of someone who loves them. And it's not like they make it quick and easy either. No, the game requires you to mash the button as New Kid's parents scream in agony, begging for their lives. Shocking is an understatement for this moment. I have never seen such a messed up moment in a South Park game. Now, I'm not saying this shouldn't be in here. I believe it's a very powerfully done scene. And Trey and Matt demonstrate the ability to make an extreme tonal shift in the game very well. And the ironic part of all this... No, psychological damage is fine, but don't you dare show a nipple. And while I'm glad nothing was censored, nor should it be, does no one else think disemboweling parents is a little more psychologically confronting than an anal probe?
See, that wasn't so hard, was it?
What took you so long, new kid? You just screwing around having fun?
Oh ha ha ha. This was a powerful, highly uncomfortable, black moment of the game. It made me uncomfortable and distressed. And that is the sign of a very well-made game. Because in the next scene, it had me laughing again. And that's the beautiful part to me about the South Park games. The Fractured Butthole was a game that had me jumping in emotions between being horrified and laughing. So far, both of the South Park games haven't just been games, but experiences. Experiences that had me laughing. It had me chuckling at mischievous farts again. And only South Park could ever make farts this cool. And if you think I missed a particularly shocking moment of South Park Fractured Butthole, feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.